See, there we go. And Terry, okay. Recording is in progress, y'all. You are being recorded. Now, I'm going to try to remember to record every time if I can. The first one 2 weeks ago, I forgot to hit the button, and I'm going to add it to my YouTube channel, which is The Naomi Butler Show. And I've already had requests to do so for some that could not attend. I have somebody that's in Switzerland. She said, Naomi, please record it. I am not able to be there. And so I'll try to do that every time that I can. My goal for the next 30 to 40 minutes, and that's my goal for the time frame, if we can keep it to that, is to give you information to help you build your business, give you self-confidence, boost everything I can, help you in ways to boost your income. That's going to be one of the biggies. That's the ultimate result of everything that you're doing, helping others and boosting income. These shorter time frames that I'm keeping it to makes it easier to attend the party each time. While I'm talking to you, I am trying to admit people and stay on top of that. So forgive me if I am constantly working on that. Get a notepad and a pen. Make sure everybody get a notepad.
You want to pass that off? Since your
I'm sorry.
dog's on?
I haven't figured out how to do it, Bill. I'm going to figure it out between now and next time, but
just trying to help. I knew you were looking for
I know, I appreciate everybody's help. All right, if everybody can mute, but get you a notepad and a pen, okay? And the reason you're going to do this is a good habit, because when you are at a seminar or a workshop, or if someone is speaking, giving you information to help you, it always helps if you write it down. It helps you to remember it if you write it down. There's no way to remember everything. It's like when you have the ACT or Gold Mine or one of the customer relationship management software, there is no way to remember every conversation. So you log your notes and write everything down. So today, write as much as you can. And when you take notes, it's going to help you. BYOW is what I put on everything. Bring your own water. I want to see what water you have. Okay. Nothing else, just water. Everybody needs to stay hydrated. There's so many good things about the benefits of water. So cheers to everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me. We had a Zoom party 2 weeks ago, and I'm trying to have these at least a couple of times every month, maybe 3 times. So hopefully this is going to be something that we develop like I did my workshops over the years and continue to build more and more people to attend. There will be speakers that are going to give us information about different topics, maybe even health topics, like I was talking about the water. And for those that attend every Zoom party for the next 6 months, 6 months, that's a long time, I know, you're going to be entered into a drawing for a print of one of my paintings. And I have various paintings that I've made prints of. So there you go. There's an incentive to attend as many as you can. And you're also going to find that you've learned a lot more about helping yourself and your business by attending these 6 months. For 3 years, I have dealt with health issues and have really missed being able to host my workshops that I did for a lot of years. It feels so awesome to be back in helping others. It was awesome to be able to be at my Las Colinas Bridal Show Sunday. Sorry, I have to drink a lot of this, a lot. All of what we're going to talk about today can help every business, every person, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you do. And I'm going to give you the first business tip, and I call it baby steps and football. Now, why those two combinations? And here's why. It could be that you've got 10 goals this month, but I want you to write down one goal. So on your paper right now, write down just one goal. It could be it's your top goal or something this week. You may think, well, Naomi, I've got a lot of goals. Just write down one goal. What are you going to do to accomplish that goal with a time frame. Give yourself a time frame. So if you write down your goal and you say, I want to accomplish this in 1 month or 6 months or a year, give yourself a certain time frame. And then what are you going to do to accomplish it? So even if it's a little goal or a huge goal, all of these things take steps, one step at a time. And I have 2 grown children. I have grandchildren from age 21 till down to age 4. As of Monday, she turned 4. And of course, I've helped all of them in trying to learn to walk. And any of you that have had little ones, in trying to help them take those little steps and get more confidence to let go of the wall, to be able to take that step on their own, it's an amazing thing to watch. And it's just helping them to have that confidence. So that's kind of what we have to do when we're building a business, when we're just building our own confidence. It's taking that risk, taking that one step at a time. And eventually you get there. You're thinking at the beginning, I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know what I'm going to do, but you will get there. Now with football, and I'm sure the guys have already figured out why I added football, you are going down that field 1 yard at a time. And as you see, sometimes they are passing the ball to this person and they're getting 1 yard or 3 yards or 5 yards. And then sometimes they may pass that ball and they may miss it. They may get intercepted, or they may be able to get down further down the field quicker. But it's still 1 yard at a time that you're having to kind of look at in accomplishing that goal to get down to the field goal. So everything we're doing is baby steps, one thing at a time, one thing every day. There was something, I saw this, and it was, I'll just show it to you and then I'll read it to you. Let me back it up. Here's what it says. Imagine where you would be 6 months from now if you did one thing every day that got you closer to crushing your goals. So when you have a goal, whether it's a little goal or a big goal, work on one thing every day towards that goal. And those baby steps will get you there. So that's just the one little thing that I wanted to mention. A lot of stuff that we're going to talk about is going to be short and sweet because I'm trying to keep this to 30 to 40 minutes. It is not my 4-hour workshop, so bear with me as I move through everything. No matter what, in working towards your goal, it's an ongoing purpose. There is a book that I'm going to show you. I love this book. It's called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. It's an easy read. And before I had to close my office down, I used to give books away to every person that attended my workshop. I would go to Half Price Books and buy 100 books at a time. And that one, every time I could find it, I would give it. It's really talking about doing the most important thing first. So sometimes when we're working on things, we're like taking the easy route and taking those little easy steps and getting them done real fast. And then we keep putting off that one important thing that would probably be the one thing that gets us profit or gets us further to our goal. So eat that frog, go after it, do that one important thing first, get it out of the way. I'm going to give you one exhibiting 101 tip. Exhibiting 101 is my federal trademark for my workshops. And in the workshops, I would give lots of tips that would help somebody. Keep in mind, everything that we talk about today can help any business, whether you exhibit in shows or not, and whether you even own a business or not. So what I'm going to talk to you about right now, and it is something that even happened Sunday at the show. I wrote down in the email I sent y'all, what happens if I only pass out my business card or flyer? Let me ask you this. If I gave you my brochure, if I just handed you my brochure, what do you know about me? What do you know about me? It is one thing at a show, or whether you're at a chamber meeting or an association meeting, or you meet somebody in the mall, or you just happen to have somebody call you that was referred to you, or they saw you at this event, or somebody told them to call you. All of these things, it's the same thing. If you don't ask the person about themselves, if you don't ask what their dreams are, what their goals are, what their vision is, to find out more about them, you don't have a clue where to take that conversation. And I had a company in the show Sunday. I met them at the end of the show during move out. And I asked them how they got their leads, what they did. And y'all, all they did was pass out business cards. And I will never name names, but I knew I needed to call them personally and kind of give a mini workshop to help them, because you don't have any relationship, you don't have any rapport that you've built. And so when you try to work a leads list that you get from the show, it's like cold. They don't know who you are. You haven't built any kind of rapport, so they're probably not going to call you back. Same thing again, whether you meet somebody at this event or that event, or you're trying to build your business this way, you have to find out about them. It's not about us. I was at a wedding association meeting many years ago, and they had a brides panel. And when I give you a story, I could give you thousands of stories with my home shows and bridal shows and just businesses in general, but this one comes home. In the panel, there was one bride that said, I had a vendor that told me all of what they could do for me. They just talked and talked and talked and told me all about their business, what they could do, their packages. And she said, but not once did they ask me what I want. If we don't ask that, we don't know what direction to take that conversation. And we for sure don't know what package, so to speak, to help them with, or how we can help with their concerns. Like Russ has said, it is so important to find out about that person. So no matter what business you're in, don't just talk about what you do. Ask questions to get to know them, to find out. Because if you listen to somebody long enough, you're going to hear some things that help you know what direction to take. And next Wednesday, I will have another Zoom party, and I'm going to talk about the right questions. When you ask the right questions, I'll give you some examples of some of those questions. Keep in mind, you don't want to ask yes or no questions. They need to be open-ended to get them to talk. And I'll just give you one. It may be, what's most important to you about something? That's just one example. So, and I keep, hey, y'all, I keep a little list just so I kind of stay on track. My dad was a preacher, and he used to talk about chasing rabbits. Okay. And so I could talk forever about all this stuff. I'm trying to stay on track, so I might look at my notes every once in a while. But when you're getting to know somebody, it's kind of like peeling an onion, peeling those layers off one at a time to get to know more about them. For instance, Terry and I, we met at my shows 34 years ago, and we have gotten to know each other through many experiences. But if we hadn't known each other at the beginning, like we do now, I would have asked her about herself and asked her to tell me what is going good with her business. What is she doing now? Tell me about your family. There's just so many things. Russ has said this too. It's all about conversations, and it is. It's all about getting to know that person. So too many times we think, I've got to tell them all about what I do. And that's wrong. It's asking them about them. It's all about them. Your goal, no matter what you do, is of course, to help people and also to make a profit from all of your hard work. And speaking of profit, in the past, we were all told to do one thing and do it well. Focus on one thing. Well, guess what changed that? COVID changed it. And sometimes there's other factors that change that. So now, if you have one business only and something either slows down or halts that business, what are you going to do? So it is a very good idea to have multiple income streams. And what I'm going to share with you today is some of what has helped me. But before I do, and I'm not sure if, I don't think he was able to be on at our party, but I have somebody in our industry that when I talked to him about a month ago, I knew he had pivoted with COVID and added some more businesses. But how many of you have more than 5 businesses? Raise hand. Okay. I have 5. I have somebody in our industry that has 8. And he has delegated a lot of that so he can build them like he needs to. There is no way that one person could really build a lot of businesses without delegating. I have delegated in my bridal shows, which has helped me to also work on my other businesses too. Forgive me, I drink a lot of water. The radiation affected this side, so if I have to stop and drink water all the time, it's just part of my life. So when we are looking to add multiple income streams, the question is, what can I do to do that? One of the ways you can is to build a business around the network marketing opportunity model. And I think it was Tanya, she is also in a network marketing opportunity herself. And she's with someone that's been in my shows for maybe 28 years and doing very well and getting lots of good leads from my bridal shows. There are so many benefits to this way of building a business. And if you go to my YouTube channel, which is the Naomi Butler Show, there is a video that is titled Network Marketing, Direct Sales, Why Join the Business Opportunity? No matter what you've been told in the past, this is one of those things that many wealthy people say that if they had to go bankrupt or if they had to start all over, this is one of the routes that they would take. And this can even complement everything else that you're doing. Everything I'm doing kind of ties in together because it's all about helping others. And you're going to have less of an investment in a network marketing opportunity model than you would a normal business. In 2 to 5 years, you're going to be, if you work it and you work it right and work it hard and not quit, you could have some good residual income. Part-time is fine, but not spare time. Not spare time. And I can give you a quick testimonial about one of the products that I'm using that has changed my life. True Energy is a holographic disc. It's breakthrough technology. And it's a little oval shaped disc that I put on my sternum. I put 2 on Sunday because I needed to make sure I had enough energy Sunday. And I have had a lot happen to my body in the last 3 years with all the treatments with radiation and chemo. And so my body's been beaten down. I fought fatigue, y'all, where I wouldn't get out of bed some days till 4 p.m. And True Energy has changed all of that. I'm now back to working minimum 8 hours, many 10, 12, 14-hour days now. I'm back to being me. And so True Energy has changed my life. And True Rest has also helped me get better sleep. So if you have any questions about True DeVan, which is my new global business that I'm building, please email me, text me, let me know. I'll be glad to help you. There's a whole lot more that I could go into. It is so awesome, and it has cutting edge technology. I can't say enough good about it. So just know that I've turned 500 people down, at least 500 in 34 years, and I am all in this business. So that might tell you something, especially those that know me and have known me a long time. There is another video on my YouTube channel called My Story and Passion for Researching EMFs. The true EMF defense that I have on my phone to help protect us with these devices that are emitting EMFs is the reason that I'm building this business, even though I've found many other good benefits from using these products. So I at least wanted to share that with you. And I'm looking for people who have that stick to itness, that also don't quit, that want to build your own business. So just let me know if that's of interest to you. And even if you're one person business and you want to add something, this can also work. There is a book called Beach Money,
Her fingers
right here,
on this thing
by
constantly.
Jordan Adler. And in that book, it gives you all kinds of information. And there's a person named Russ that is mentioned. He's been very successful, and he is our special guest speaker for my Zoom party tonight. Russ DeVan is the founder and CEO of Success by Design, which is a coaching, consulting, and sales training company. And Russ is also my dear friend and mentor, who is helping me take all of my businesses to the next level. And so whenever you hear Russ speak, you will learn something every time. So get your notepad and pen ready, because Russ is going to give us some of his brilliant wisdom. So Russ, take it away.
Boy, not much of a burden there. Give you some brilliant tips of wisdom for you to write down. Well, first of all, thank you, Naomi. I feel honored and blessed to be here tonight. And I'm gonna challenge you to do something. Of course, you can take notes if you'd like, but I want to make it an option, because I'm gonna say that anything that I say tonight, I hope you will just remember. And I think you have a better shot at remembering it if you're just here with me and present. I don't know if I have pearls of wisdom to lay on you. This has been very informative so far. And since I don't know you, if I had my druthers, I'd find out about you, but there isn't enough time to find out very much about you. So I want to tell you a little bit about me, not like what I've accomplished. The best thing that could be said on this call is a dear friend and a mentor or a coach, which Naomi has already graced me with. But I own a company called Success by Design. I don't consider myself a motivational speaker. I don't even consider myself a coach. That term gets used a lot these days. I guess if I was to define myself, I'd say that I'm a human behaviorist. Like what I've spent the last 50 years of my life doing, particularly the last 40, is studying people. And because I love people, I love them and I'm fascinated by them. And people have been my life. And one of the beautiful things, I don't know how you hold, network marketing's been dropped here tonight. I don't know what you think that is or whether you've experienced it, but it's one of the few business models in the world, in my opinion, where you can actually leverage the love of people and contribution to other people to earn money. Now, I don't mean like by using other people, but actually by making a difference for them. And you can do it with very little capital. And some 40 years ago, when I was a young man looking for something outside of a Fortune 500 job that would sustain me and provide me with the kind of choices that I was looking for in life, I came across the network marketing model. And no, for any of you who are thinking, it wasn't Amway or anything quite that profound. It was a company that was selling a fuel additive out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Why a fuel additive? Because gas prices were threatening to go over $1 a gallon. Imagine that. And here was a fuel additive that had been around since 1917 that made these new unleaded cars run better. And I was a traveling salesman for all intents and purposes. So somebody sold me a bottle of it and said, this will make your car work better. And I used it and it was amazing. And I used it in the company car. Naturally, I wasn't going to try it on my personal car, but I used it in the company car and it did great. So I was drawn into my first network marketing opportunity. And for the next 10 years, I continued this love-hate relationship with this system of distribution, finding things out about it that I loved and things out about it that I didn't like so much. And in 1990, I came to a place where I was either going to figure out a way that it worked for me and for other people, or I was going to go drive a truck or do something else. And I started looking at what didn't work about it, at least in my opinion. And I came across the areas where people struggle. And no matter what kind of business you have, I submit that these are areas that need a shift in the paradigm of how they're done. And I call these three areas, where do I go, what do I do, and how do I do it? Well, the where do I go piece is the part that we call prospecting. And man, there's a lot of paradigms around how to get leads and what to do with them, what you get them, and what to say. Isn't what do I say like the holy grail? Like, what do I say to have somebody buy this product? What do I say to have somebody be interested in the business? What do I say to get somebody interested in me? What if that isn't true? What if that's a false premise? Maybe somebody's interest isn't in what you say, it's in what you hear. So here's Russ's first law of prospecting. A closed mouth gathers no feet. You were talking earlier, Naomi, about getting interested in people and asking about them. You know, one of the best questions you can ask anybody is tell me about you. Their favorite subject. Tell me about you. And what you listen for is not an opportunity to sell something, an opportunity to hear what somebody's concerned about or committed to, because that's where all human action lies, in my opinion. Now, here's another one for you. You ever heard of something called the warm and the cold market? Right, this great debate about which is better, people you know or people you don't know. Well, the people you know, most people, why is it called the warm market? Because it's people you know, they're easier to talk to. Oh, are they? Not in my experience, they're not. But I guess it depends. But let's assume that you've gone to the warm market, assuming that that was an easier place to go, and you found out it really wasn't. So you decided to try the cold market. Now, isn't that fun? Go someplace that's cold. Okay, well, to go someplace that's cold, obviously that's strangers. What do you mean door-to-door selling? No, talking to people that are strangers. I don't want to talk to people that are strangers, say people. Nonsense. We talk to people that are strangers all the time. We don't think a thing about it. Now, talking to a stranger with a hidden agenda and trying to get them to do something without them finding out what you're up to, different story, right? So I've got news for you. I don't believe that what makes people buy is whether you know them or not. It's whether or not they're open to having a conversation about something. So now that leads me to another dilemma. Sales. I don't like to sell. I don't want to sell. I hate selling. I don't like being sold to. I'm not a salesperson. Have you ever thought that or had somebody say that to you? Of course. So I came from a professional sales background. Do you know what the intention of all selling is? Getting a sale. So by nature, that technique is a force. And natural law says that for every action in the universe, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Guess what the reaction is to force? Resistance. That's why the two most important things in selling are overcoming the sale or getting the close and overcoming resistance, overcoming objections, right? Well, let me ask you something. When was the last time you watched television or you were on the internet and something came on and you went, want it, buying it right now? My pillow, sorry, doesn't do it for me. This guy's in Minnesota and the stuff's all American made and he seems to be hugging that thing awful well and I'm just gonna try the pillow, right? Nobody's in the living room talking to you. There isn't anything to resist. You can change the channel if you want. But what is that? I don't know what it is, but 70,000 pillows move every week out of that. And I say it's not selling. It's the communication of value and people knowing they have an actual choice. So if you could have told me 30 years ago that I can make a living teaching people common sense and remembering how to be themselves and how powerful they are, and that the key to this type of business is actually not in what you say, not in what you do, but in how you're being and listening and connecting with others, I'm not kidding. That's the key. And I'm here to tell you, it's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful thing to learn, or more importantly, to remember, because I don't promise to teach anybody anything new. My job is unconcealing things that you already know and showing them to you. And the wonderful thing about that is you don't have to remember it because you already know it. And once you see it again, you won't forget it. Have you ever noticed that every time you buy a car, that's the only one you ever see? Like you drive off the parking lot, spending all this time picking out a car and the color and the make and the model, and now everybody got one that day. You pull up one next to the light, you park next to one in the parking lot. I mean, literally, I'm not kidding. This might have something to do with my age, but probably 3 times a week, I go out in the parking lot and try to break into somebody's car thinking it's mine. I'm not kidding. Why is that though? You know why? Because you can't notice every car. You can't. Every car doesn't have value to you. You have a unique distinction for your car because it's your car. That's it. Guess what? Building a business is the same way. Everyone here, if you have a business, was a prospect for that business. Ask yourself why. And then instead of looking for prospects, pay attention and they will occur. You know what? We have a limited time tonight. I didn't know what I was going to say, but Naomi helped me because I had so much fun listening to what she was saying. I hope maybe I've at least poked your curiosity a little bit and we get a chance to see each other again. I sure would love to work with you. So I want to thank you, Naomi, for inviting me here. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Russ. I could listen to Russ all the time. I appreciate you being my special guest tonight. And every time Russ speaks, it's always encouraging and informative and something that I need to learn. And so I hope y'all took good notes, even though he says you don't have to take notes. I take notes when I'm listening to Russ, even I'm sitting here taking notes while he's talking. So he may be our guest speaker multiple times. Just stay tuned. And here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to have you, if you have a partner, if you have somebody there with you, we're going to do a communications exercise that is really fun. I used to do this in my workshops. And part of this is everything has a purpose in everything I'm telling you. This is to help you become a speaker. You might say, oh my gosh, I am not a speaker. I can't do that. You don't have to be a speaker. But here's the thing, when you're talking to people, you want to come across as professional as you can. And there's some things that you want to not do. And I had to learn this the hard way. When I used to speak to wedding associations or different groups, and I remember one time that one of the people told me afterwards, he said, Naomi, you look so mad. And I was like, I was just focused on what I was saying, trying to say it in this order and stay on track. And so I was so focused that I wasn't smiling. So I had to learn to smile, but I also had to listen to myself from a recording and find out what I was doing right or wrong. And one of those things was the filler words. And we all do it. It's those words that are you know, like, and we have all done this. So here's what I'm gonna have you do. This is gonna be fun, and you're not gonna be graded. If you have somebody there with you that can be your partner in this, that's great. If you don't, then I'm going to trust you. We're gonna have a trust factor here. So you do have your notepad and pen, right? So here's what you're gonna do. How many of you have somebody there with you that can do this with you? If you don't, and it's you by yourself, that's fine. I'll give you both ways, but here's what you're going to do, and don't start yet. What I'm going to do is give you 60 seconds to talk about anything, and hopefully everybody's on mute. Let me make sure, if y'all can, please mute yourself, because you're going to be talking and we don't want to hear everybody talking. But I'm so excited. We've got at least 20 here at our party tonight, and we had a few more that had to come and go. This is so awesome. Thank you. So here's what you're going to do. You may love pets. You may love food. Whatever it is you love talking about. What you're going to do is you're going to talk for 60 seconds, either by yourself or to somebody else that's with you right there. And this is going to, sorry, I'm admitting somebody back in. This is going to help you understand and see and hear yourself when you say those filler words. So right now, you're going to get ready to talk for 60 seconds when I start the timer. And then when I stop it, I'll tell you to stop. And while you're talking, if you're by yourself, have your pen and piece of paper. Every time you say a filler word, make a hash mark. If you have somebody there with you, have them listen to you and do the hash mark. So again, you're not going to stop talking. You're going to talk for 60 seconds. Whatever it is you're passionate about, or not, just whatever you're wanting to talk about. You're going to speak words for 60 seconds. You're going to tally every time you say a filler word, you know, like, those kind of things. And then I'm going to share something with you afterwards. So I'm about to start the timer for 60 seconds. I hope I've made it. I hope I've communicated clearly for what you want to do. Here I am going 60 minutes. We don't want to do 60 minutes. We want to do 60 seconds. That would have been funny. Y'all would have been going on and saying, what is she doing? All right. It only lets me go 59. No, we go 1 minute. Here we go. All right. You ready? When I say start, you're going to talk and hashtag every time you say a filler word. All right. You ready? Go. Okay. Timer is up. So let me ask you this. How many of you had at least 5 times? And I know some of you, we can't see you on screen. How many of you had 10? How many of you had 1? When I used to do this in my workshop, and I would also give the other person the turn, so they would do it twice. And the second person kind of started noticing and paying attention a little more because they noticed the first person had given a lot of filler words when they were talking. So the second person probably did a little bit better. But what this exercise does, it helps you to think about what you're saying, how you're saying it with filler words or not. Years ago, Mary and Brian and I were in Hawaii. We were in Oahu. We did the city tour. And if you've ever done the city tour in Oahu, I think it's at least a 4 or 5 hour city tour. And we were probably about halfway through, and our tour guide said the word literally hundreds of times. And what happens is when you start hearing those filler words from somebody who is speaking or talking to you, you get to where you don't even hear what they're really trying to say. You only hear those filler words. So I'm just helping you to kind of change that practice and practice the pause, because we don't have to fill it with a filler word. And this will help you to sound more professional when you're talking to someone, whether it's on the phone, whether it's face to face, even practice with your family. And they may start making fun of you because you are saying some of these filler words that they never noticed. You're going to start catching yourself. So it's just a little simple exercise to, again, help you in becoming a little bit more professional when you talk. You don't have to be, quote, a speaker to learn this method. So practice the pause, and hopefully between now and next week, maybe some of you can share that that's helped you or not, but I just wanted to give you that little bit of a nugget of inspiration. I'm going to try to have the Zoom parties at least 2 times a month, maybe 3 times on some months that I can, depending on my show schedule. And I do have Cheryl Glenn, who is our speaker for next Wednesday night, which is Wednesday, January 19. And she's going to be talking about the topic, position yourself. She is the principal consultant for SG Consulting Group, and you will get an email ahead of time about the Zoom party. And then hopefully I do the Zoom link correctly. I had to kind of split it up today. I thought it was going to work all at once. So I'm learning technology, but I hope that today has helped and given you some motivation, some inspiration, some information to inspire you to be your best. And we're all learning as we grow. I'm in school every day. I'm learning constantly. I showed you the book Beach Money. I showed you the book Eat That Frog. There's so many other books I could tell you about. For 6 years, from 2006 to 2012, I read a book a week. And it was amazing. There were, of course, some weeks that I had a longer book to read. So I kind of filled in with some of the Ken Blanchard books that are shorter reads, and Eat That Frog is a short read. So it really helped me to keep up the momentum of 1 book a week. Learn as much as you can. And I really, really appreciate you being here with me tonight. I hope it helped. If it did, if you were inspired by anything or learned something and this helped you in any way, please email me your testimonials. I would love that and be able to share that with other people for the next Zoom parties. If you have any questions about True Javon, my new business, and any of the products that could help you also, please let me know your questions on that. I will get back with everybody as soon as I can. I do have the Dallas Bridal Show coming up in 2.5 weeks. And so my schedule's a little crazy, just like everyone else is here. I just want to thank y'all so much for being here. Dance like nobody's watching. Let's all have a good rest of the week. Thank you. And I will see you next week if you want anybody else to be invited, please let me know and I'll add them to the invite. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi.
Thank you, Russ, for being here. We appreciate you.
Con mucho gusto.
Thank you.
Great call, sweetheart.
Thank you. See y'all later.